good evening will be the right salutation to make. Okay, and Nikhil, thank you so much for giving me this chance of again doing a little bit of CP after many years. So thank you so much. Acha bhai, so my company Services Solutions actually is helping banks and financial services organizations to overcome the problems which have come because of the lockdown and social distancing norms which so many governments have actually asked us to do. So I will just give you some background and the things that we are doing for these banks and financial services organizations. So while I was at IIM, I had registered one very important thing. That is what I'm showing you right now. And this was always at the back of my mind when I used to pass through different lessons at AIM. कि मैं अपना जब entrepreneur बनूंगा तो what all I should be doing. So these two things had clicked in my mind while taking several lessons. One is that what happens in any large organization, particularly in a services organization. So I'm not talking about manufacturing right now. So any services organization like banking, financial services, which scales up big time, and these organizations hire not 100, 200, but thousands and lakhs of employees. So whenever these organizations grow because of the growth in business, the law of diminishing returns starts kicking in. So as you can see in the curve on the left hand side, so the productivity increase as the number of people in the system increase is not linear, and it falls very fast. So the red curve shows you the falling productivity curve as the number of people get added into the system, and the logic is very simple. Logic is that there are more and more layers needed for managing the below layers, and cooperation, collaboration layers get added and managers get added, and many managers actually get further add to the inefficiencies of other people. So इस वजह से the productivity curve falls very fast. And I thought to myself that when I do my own company, I will try and bring out products which will actually help reverse this curve to the blue level which you are seeing. The second curve on the right hand side is again a very established curve in all operations related books. You will find that if you want to increase the customer experience, that is what we were taught in AIM. There were so many case studies that agar customer experience increase karna hai, to one of the factors was to actually reduce the TAT, turnaround time. So when people try and reduce the TAT of serving, giving you something, a connection or a loan account or whatever, I mean, they invariably introduce errors in it, which is what we say the downfall in quality of the service. The error can be as simple as wrong address of yours or spelling mistake or something, and it could be as big as the wrong amount or the wrong EMI or whatever happens. So this curve actually falls very fast if the experience is increased by increasing the speed. So these two things play a very important role in any organization's productivity and customer experience. Now these two I kept in mind, and when I started my own company, I did some other basic stuff analysis, and I found this. So the current screen that you are actually seeing right now is talking about the management of productivity in a complex organization like bank, and also how they actually engage with the customers. I hope I am audible. कोई हाँ बोल दीजिए राहुल.
You are perfectly audible, boss. Please go ahead.
Okay, fine. Okay, so see, we also learned in AIM that the services organization behaves differently from a product organization. Likewise, the marketing of services is very different from marketing a product. Okay, I actually found an evidence of this when Vijay Mallya was actually trying to bring the high-end services of his airline after buying Deccan, and how we screwed up the entire operations, because it was not a product which he was selling earlier, Daru ka bottle. It was more of a service, and he screwed up service like a product, and everything went for a toss for him. So यहाँ पे I'm just trying to show you how complex a services organization is, and every small thing that one does actually has a very big impact on productivity as well as experience that one wants to deliver to the end customer. So let's take again a bank as an example, because a bank I'm taking also for one reason, that bank is typically a much mature organization as compared to any other services organization, because they are forced to use technologies, and they are already at a leading curve. On the curve, they are at the leading point where they are using technologies as compared to other industries. But a bank-like organization or an NBFC-like organization is very complex. It has various silos, and what they start doing in the beginning when they are formed is that they start managing the data. Like, for example, everyone knows about core banking systems. So core banking system or core lending, if it is NBFC, then they'll put core banking system. If it is insurance company, they will put core insurance system. So that is the starting point. And people think, "Yare, मैंने सारा problem solve कर लिया, organization की सारी रामबाण वाली दवाई लगा दी." But what happens by putting that CBS, the only thing that they are addressing is that they are managing the data. So the data management system they have put in place. But the biggest inefficiencies lie not in putting together the data, but in activities which they have to manage, because now they have spread all across through so many offices. Many of them would have agents or DSA or third-party organizations who are actually working for their sales and services. And it becomes a very complex organization. So activities actually are the biggest killer of efficiency of any organization. And one of the reports, I can't quote right now the exact date and name, said that $50–60 billion of inefficiencies just lie in banking industry alone of a country like India, because they are not managing their processes or workflows very efficiently in an automated manner. Okay. So that is the background of my thought process, and why we actually entered this space, where generally you can call our space as automation technologies. But unlike other automation technology players, we don't do a simple pure play one product area. We have combined at least 5 or 6 different technologies in order to fulfill the needs in different areas of the bank. But we deliberately don't enter into the data management part, which is general ledger. Okay. So for example, when you actually open a loan account or a liability account, as they call fixed deposit or savings account, then the data entry of payment, I mean the money getting transferred into the ledger, is finally done in the core banking system. But the process before it, for example, one has to do AML check, anti-money laundering check, then one has to do checks with the RBI servers, one has to do civil checks, one has to do various other different checks before actually entertaining a customer. And those all steps actually are counted as activity. So a complex product would have multiple steps, as many as 8–10 steps, and simple process can have 2 or 3 steps also. And a bank can typically have hundreds of processes for which they need technology to manage the mid office, back office, as well as the field, which is typically the customer, or the customer going to the bank, or the banker going to the customer's place. These days, there's a lot of what you call doorstep services as well. So on your left-hand side, you are right now seeing how I actually have architected the solutions to give complete end-to-end solution to all the requirements in an organization like a bank. So left-hand side is showing you the field operations, which means that when the bank people come to you for collection of documents, if you are running your business or if you are an individual, they again ask you for so many things before even you do any transaction with them. And now there is a bit of automation, so we can do eKYC using a mobile, and maybe take documents directly from some other servers and not ask for the paper document, etc. For some amount of automation has been allowed by government. Left hand side is about that. the middle top side, which is you're seeing people working in office, like somebody is actually generating the work, other is distributing, then there are approvers, and approvers can be very complex people, and these could be as high as chartered accountants who actually understand every bit of balance sheet and see how a customer's balance sheet is, to very simple data entry operators or people who are just correcting the data if it is wrong. On the right hand side, you are seeing that robotics, which is a very overused word in Indian context. There are some pieces of the process which can be handled by robots. So robots are the parts of the software which run multiple steps without involving a human being. Okay, whereas workflow typically is opposite of that. In workflow, the idea is to actually make the human being far more effective in decision making, and so that he can help crash the cycle time and do all the compliances. And robot is the one where it takes the steps which are pre-programmed, and maybe things like it goes to say Bombay Stock Exchange side, and maybe it actually puts a date of the query from where he wants to know the price of several shares, and then he gets that information and takes a decision based on that. So that part is also taken care by us. And management reports which are live is taken care by us on the bottom right corner that you are seeing. In addition to that, we actually have a very, very powerful layer which we call integration layer, and it can actually integrate with any and every system in the world. In banks, many of you who are not from this industry, you will get surprised if I tell you that there are 300, 400, 500 systems, different systems which banks have to create over a period of time because of regulator, because of pressures of competition, because of self-management, and likewise. So, but the biggest two areas are CBS, which manages the data, and activity manager, which includes the digital asset part of it, that is document management, is done by us. So since I promised you, I'm not going to talk much about my company, but about the case studies which we have done for several of our customers. These are just the logos of some of the customers which we have acquired, and you would be happy to know that my company is not much old, but the names which you are seeing here are very, very big names, and these are like the leaders in banking financial services. Some of these are new banks like Paytm, etc., and some of these are old, like ICICI, Axis, HDFC. These are the largest groups actually in private sector. And I've been focusing on private sector because so far I haven't built capability to deal with government type of customers where you have to put separate account managers and things like that. So next is just a glimpse of what I'm going to share with you. I don't know whether this video will play, but let me try. If I have to show the video, then what do I have to do in my screen? I have to How do I?
We are expanding.
You are able to hear this voice?
We can hear it a little bit.
So you remember that Pingle ad of Shah Rukh Khan doing ICICI Bank advertisement?
ICICI Bank current account खोलकर InstaBiz use कीजिए. ICICI Bank InstaBiz पे पाइए instant overdraft, quick vendor payments और auto bank reconciliation.
Chalo, okay, I'm stopping. I'm not able to play it here. Going back to my screen. Is my screen shared already? Can you confirm, please?
Yeah, we can see your screen, but it's not on full screen. Yeah, now it's on full screen. All good. Go ahead.
Okay, so I was showing you an advertisement earlier, which I could not share, wherein I was telling you how hundreds of processes can be rolled out for a large bank like this using the different technologies that we have built. Okay, so rapid application development is the name given to it, and what it shows on the screen to you next is how actually it gives best of both the worlds. One extreme way of actually solving customers' problem is to give a point solution which is ready-made, but the problem there is that it cannot change. The other extreme end is to build custom solution completely. There the problem is that it takes a long time. It is flexible, but then cost and time is very, very high, as well as the bugs are very high, and system takes long time to stabilize. Whereas in our case, it is best of both the worlds. We deliver very fast. In fact, I'm very happy to tell you that in our area, whoever competes with us, from robotics to BPM, that is business process management, to document management people, all of them actually take 2 to 3 times more time than we do, and that's how we have excelled our delivery capabilities also. Coming to the COVID times, everyone has a lot of information today, but I just captured this small piece of information which says that social distancing is not going anywhere. After lockdown opens, we might have to still worry about it, and companies will take their own calls, how much they open, and coronavirus may end up becoming a seasonal flu. Many of them have said that this will at least continue till 2022. So all the measures are important, which we are going to discuss now. Now, the three zones which you are seeing here, the green, orange, and the reddish one, these are the areas. The green one is the area where the banks have already done some automation. So mobile banking, yes, you can do fund transfers. You can actually open, if you're an existing customer, you can open new FDs. You can actually see your statement. So basic things are done. Payment gateways have been in our life for a long time. Call centers, which are partly outsourced and partly owned by the banks, are now functional, and in some cases, some of them are actually now using bots, but mostly they are manually operated. Micro ATMs as well as step banking is also been part of our lives for last 4-5 years. In the maximum focus of organizations went on online meetings and usages of apps like Zoom and WebEx and things like that. VPN became the primary instrument for banks because VPN is the only way through which a tunnel gets made, which is a secret tunnel using which even a person sitting at his home can actually access the server and without actually doing any harm to it. So VPN got promoted a lot, and a lot of licenses got sold by VPN players, project management tools, and mobile banking also. The third area is the one which I'm going to talk in depth. The third area is the area where the services are complex. They are not the ones which are as simple as what mobile banking does. So what are these areas in banking? So one area we call asset or loan products. So here in be it retail segment or mid-market or corporate, be it a 5,000 crore ticket size or 20,000 rupee item or even 10,000 rupee micro loan, all of them actually have different kinds of processes, and these are very complex processes because there is a regulatory scanner on top of everyone, and it does not let bank to give loans freely because otherwise they will end up doing their increasing their NPS. The other side is the liability business. Banks are very, very profitable businesses because of the fact that government allows them to take deposits, and that's called liability products. So again, if they are increasing their liability base, then the cost of funds is very cheap. So again, this is a complex one. Third is transactional banking, which is like which is for processes like trade finance, like opening LCs, LGs, etc. Collections on behalf of the customers and things like this. So these are the areas where the challenges are, and these are the areas where we also operate. So these were some of the some of these slides which which became very popular in social media of late on my company site. So on left hand side, you are seeing how we have helped the world fight coronavirus. So we have 5 categories here. What we are saying is that when you are actually sitting at home and manager is not in front of you, then in order to do work balancing, etc., there has to be automation, and that automation has to be done by products like we have built, and it should be operable. One should be able to operate even for outside organization people, which are called non-LDAP. So if a partner organization like BPO is also contributing into that workforce, then you can have non-LDAP users also. So we have built an engine which allocates the work automatically based on certain rules which are built and can be changed from time to time. Second is continue the essential services without physical movement. So physical movement, like people should not be moving, and even paper scan copy should be good enough. So today you would have noticed some banks are actually for the businesses, all banks are taking, but some banks are actually allowing the checks to be scanned, and these checks go directly into the system and get transacted very fast. Likewise, so many other digital assets are there. So those capabilities provided by us. New norms like what government is announced recently. So say for example, moratorium. So moratorium now is an easy thing for people, but difficult thing for banks and NBFCs, because they have to give that option to the customers and ask they are okay, and then some people may want, some may not want. So there is maker checker, and then based on what the decision is, they might not declare his default and not report his case in credit bureaus, and may not actually make it an NPA as per the government regulation. So all this requires a change in the process, and which many people have implemented using our system. Monitoring business, again, a very key thing. In case your people are doing work from home, how much work they are doing is a big thing actually, because if there are people who have 100 people reporting to him, you can check a work of 5 people, 10 people, you can't check the work of 100 people. So that is how we have built mechanism to actually also monitor. And last but not the least, you may be having very limited capability in terms of infrastructure, bandwidth, etc. And your customers may be having far limited capability. For example, they may be having very, very low internet connection, and you are asking them to upload documents. So you should give them capability to upload smaller documents. So left-hand side is about that. I'm going to share some case studies which are real, and you will love them. On the right-hand side, you are seeing slow code piece of the work that we have done. Yes, the platform which we have built actually allows several things to happen, like scorecard generation, or routing which is rule based, or text formatting, or dashboards, etc. All these are low code, means that very no code or hardly any code is written in order to do these all automations. Okay, so we are also going to discuss this in detail. So COVID times, you can break down the assistance which our customers need into 3 parts, like operational challenges. Example of that is like, quickly implementing moratorium. Second category is technical and infra challenge. For example, you may not let your customer upload a 2 MB file. Can that 2 MB file be reduced to, say, for example, 20 KB file through compression? So what are the technologies? We have built all of those. Then managerial capabilities of monitoring. Now, I'm walking you through one case study which happened recently after the lockdown, and this is about the moratorium implementation. So this just gives you a view of what happens actually when a bank or NBFC starts considering the moratorium. So what it has to do is that it has to actually extract the borrower information from the core system which they have, and then allocate that work in an automatic manner, so that the agents or officers who are on the field can actually get the work distributed in their local areas, and they start contacting with the borrowers and start recording their responses as to what way they want to optimize their EMIs or the term or whatever they want, and the customer gives okay. After that, there is maker checker, and everything while they are doing on the system is audited automatically by our product, for which no extra code is to be written. We call it Audit Trail. And finally, the reporting has to go to RBI and credit bureaus. This is what our customers have implemented after lockdown, and it's been appreciated a lot. This is another story. When you say, for example, on the image which you're seeing, PAN card on left-hand side, if you actually take a normal copy from your phone camera and send it on WhatsApp, it can be as big as 2 MB, 2.5 MB. And if 10 such pages or documents were to be uploaded on a bank site or a bank server for you to access a service, then it becomes very tough. So we have built compression technologies which work from within mobile. And you can see that if you allow your user to send only black and white picture, then this 2.4 MB image gets converted to only 14.5 KB in black and white and 95 KB in grayscale. So grayscale is good enough for capturing signatures and photos, and otherwise for doing data entry of any kind, number, etc., black and white image is good enough. Then what we have done is that we have gone ahead and automated some things which happen, for which the errors happen very often. For example, trapezoidal error, which you are seeing on the bottom left, is very, very normal thing. So if you scan an image like this, you will get a trapezoidal image, and which is not proper perfect rectangle. And you would have seen many applications, apps where the rectangle which is drawn is to be adjusted, and then it becomes rectangle. But in our case, we have automated it in such a manner that you don't have to do anything, and automatically it runs an algorithm to detect the background versus foreground, and mathematically we actually correct it automatically. And likewise, these cues which get introduced at the time of scan get corrected automatically, which saves like 20-30 seconds per page. And if it is to be for 10 such pages, then you can imagine how much time is saved, and it actually adds to customer experience. This is one example of monitoring. So this is a process written end to end for a customer, which actually turned into a bank recently. So for I actually don't name the customers directly because we have confidential contracts with them, but you will get decent idea. This organization was a microfinance organization, and they got a banking license recently. And what they were doing earlier is that they were doing only microfinance loans. Microfinance loans are called JLG, Joint Liability Group Loan. Once they form a group of 5 people and their KYCs are done, then they are given loan, and the responsibility of returning the loan lies on the head of all people. And because there is social pressure, they actually return the loan, and the defaults are very, very less in this. But the loan sizes are very small. So we built a solution for them which worked in such a manner that there was zero paper collected. It was totally paperless. So not a single time any paper was collected from any of the customers. First. Second is that these customers are deep into rural area. So their agents, the bank's agents actually would go on bicycle, etc. in the remote area and just take the picture and photocopy of the document like Aadhaar card or whatever they have or document. And based on that, the processing would start. So this is the point which we call lead generation, or what we call as basically the promotional meeting, which starts first. From there, you can see the entire cycle is followed, and there are complexities in the cycle because one has to go and actually do lat-long verification through Geo API and actually put all the responses in the app. But the good thing is that offline also, it does not require internet all the time, because in rural area, you can't expect internet. But when he comes to his office or home where he has internet connection, at that point in time, the entire data and images that he has scanned get synced up. And we have encryption capabilities built into it, such that even if the phone is lost or somebody throws it or breaks it, there is no loss of data in that sense. The entire cycle actually ends up in auto generation of computer documents, which are printed out and they are finally signed by the people to whom the loan is to be given. And this has helped them reduced the cycle time, which was on average 21 days for new customers. This got reduced to 1.5 days, which is more than 10 times of benefit. And the existing customers used to take 3 to 4 days on average, the TAT for giving loan to existing customers. That got reduced to 10 to 15 minutes because lesser amount of work is involved in that. So this was a great case study, and they actually received award in a European country. And this organization has really risen to a level where it is rubbing shoulders with large banks today. And already it has crossed 15,000 loans per day, which is by any account a very, very large volume. Volume in terms of the number of transactions, maybe not so much in terms of the asset base that they are building, because their loans are like 10,000, 15,000 rupees. But then we have been drivers of their business, and that's a very good thing to do. So I have some 8-9 minutes now. So I will try and share with you some other things as to how we actually go and help customers in COVID times. Unless you have some question in between where I can just halt, or should I continue?
Harish, if you can continue. If you can wrap up in the next 7 or 8 minutes, then we'll have a good 20 minutes for Q&A.
Okay, great. Okay.
Cool.
So see, banking got categorized like essential service, because if it was not made essential, then there will be a lot of problem that poor people, even rich people, would face if they actually can't get money. So that's why we have actually strategized based on what customers ask. So these are the 4 steps which you can. So we actually help customers to identify their challenges, and then we help them to actually, get a better way, innovative way of aligning the operations in order to meet a challenge. Third thing is that we help them implement it very, very fast. As I said, we are the fastest implementers because of the rapid application development platform we have. And the fourth thing is that we then help them scale up in for a particular area of process automation. Now, very easily, banks would have 100, 200, 300, 400 different business processes which they want to automate. And we typically don't pick an order for 1 process or 2 process. We pick order for 10, 20, 30 at least to start with. And then it keeps on increasing in number of processes for the bank as they like us more and more, because it is very easy to implement. This is just the same thing which I told you in summary, slightly higher level, in which we are saying what all problems we solved. So compliance management for RBI, for example, we have solved. Encryption and security problems we have solved, so that documents are not lost in the mobile or on the way or on the server. So we use the PKI cryptography mechanism in order to ensure that. And we have built the capability of online, offline in such a manner, just like you have Amazon. Amazon app, for example, you can do the transaction on website as well as on the app. So on one moment you are on the app, and the other moment you go on the website, your current thing that you wanted to purchase is already listed there, right? So that is how we are also auto-synchronizing the web, so that they can interchangeably use. So in current times where most of the workforce of those banks is not having laptops at home, they are actually operating through mobile, which is an additional thing that we have done for them. And resource management, that I said, through monitoring we enable. So this is all about the COVID times I wanted to share. This is a little bit on my other part of the company information. We are a CMMI level 3, ISO 27001, ISO 9001, and certified for product security audit also, apart from VAPT. These are some of the laurels we earned. SME 100 award was given to us by none other than Nitin Gadkari himself. And if you are interested, I'll quickly walk you through the names of the products that we have, but not beyond that. So this is ServoStreams, which is the business process automation tool. ServoDocs is the document archival retrieval. Servo Web Scan is the scanning capability from the scanner through the web. So manageability is very good. Servo Image is the compression capability which I showed you. And then the framework using which we can do various things, say for example, transferring Excel sheet into computer web page or vice versa, or implementing, say for example, bots. One customer has implemented a bot which is based on artificial intelligence, wherein they actually, the customer can do two-way transaction. Okay, the customer can ask, what if I default in my loan? The robot side is going to get more details before it answers. And most often it can actually answer all the questions, but in case it is not able to answer questions, then it actually moves the transaction onto a workflow where people are sitting and manual answer actually goes. So it works two ways. Okay. So this is in short about my company's contribution in this area. One last study, which is a combination of all technologies I can take, and this is implementation that we did beating the likes of Salesforce. Salesforce is our competitor in a BFSI company, which is considered to be the largest in terms of volumes, and that company is none other than Bajaj Finserv in Pune. We did this solution for a very large private bank, and what they wanted us is to do a loan sanction solution in less than 60 seconds. So how is it possible to do that? So supposing you were a consumer, you went to Vijay Sales, and from Vijay Sales, they are using our app to tell him in 1 minute that yes, you can take away this fridge, yes, you can take this TV, your loan is sanctioned. For that, we built a solution which combined all the technologies. So first the app would scan the document, whatever Aadhaar card, PAN, whatever they give, and it immediately sends it to the server. Server side, there are so many things running from rules engine to additional rules engine if the organization is having, and maybe other technologies like Perfios, etc., using which the analysis comes and the scorecard is made. And if scorecard is good enough, we actually sanction the loan. So around 55% of the times this loan got sanctioned in less than 60 seconds, and the remaining 45% of the time the entry went into the normal workflow where people were sitting and addressing. And once they ask more questions, they sanction the loan. So 55% of the times we were able to sanction the loan in less than 1 minute, which is 4 to 5 times faster than the nearest rival, which was implemented on our competitor solution of Salesforce. And this gave us a lot of more confidence, and more people have come. So I can share the slides with you, and you can have a look at it. I think I would like to stop here and leave it for.
Thank you, Harish. Yeah. So I will unmute one by one the speaker. So first I will unmute Venu. Venu, please go ahead. Hello.
Yes, Venu bhai.
Harish bhai.
Yeah, Venu, go ahead.
Harish bhai, how are you?
First class, Venu bhai.
बस यार चल रहा है. अच्छा, I have two questions. Okay. One, in these times, basically banking sector, the major challenge is on the security side, right? What we are talking about is everybody working from home, and endpoint security and endpoint connectivity are the major challenges. Yeah. Are there any measures from your side that you suggest that we should take care from the banking sector as well as from the customer side as well, right? So how to make sure that the connectivity is not hacked or not harsh? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So see, there are two parts to this question answer. One is that how we actually take care of the security in the implementation of the solution. That is one part of it. Second is that in the COVID times, how are we actually ensuring that we don't leave any scope for attacks on the bank server, etc. So your question is related to the first part or second one? Okay, I will answer both. Okay. Okay, so what we have done is that in building the product itself, we have actually ensured that we do not create any scope for security lapse, and we have eliminated the use of so-called Java applets, which were very popular till some time back. We have we do every type of testing. I mean, before the product, and then we involve a third party which is outside our company to come and do an audit on our product before we make a final grand release. So once we make that grand release, it goes to the customer side. When the customer actually implements its own processes, gets it implemented on our product, then again there is a chance that some loophole might have entered from which outside people can actually enter into the system. So there again, a second level of security testing is done. And of course, bank servers are already very, very secure because they have very, very strict RBI guidelines about how they want to do. But I'm talking about my part. So we get the third party testing done again before we actually declare the solution completely go live. So that is one thing. First part of the, first interpretation of the question. Second is during these times, almost all our people are working from home. So how are they actually logging into the bank server? So there are two types of customers. One's those wherein the source code lies on the bank's bank's server. So it is the bank's responsibility. Under BCP, we had given this already to them that it is your responsibility to give us VPN setup. And whether it is your laptop or our laptop, we are fine with that. But they have to give the VPN. So then we can access whatever we want to from their server, and there is no problem. And the second type of customer is that which is actually using the server of my company services, because that piece of the software maybe is not still live, it is still being worked on. In that case, I have my own VPN. So I had to purchase many VPN licenses after COVID came up. So these are the two ways in which we are actually handling the security of
our. Next, Nilesh.
Yeah. So thanks, Harish, for the elaborate presentation. My question is that in the banking services, many a times technology and processes used to be unique to banks, and they used to position it as a competitive advantage. But now in your case, if all these large banks use the services of the same technology partner, then does this mean that technology is getting commoditized in the sector and there is limited opportunity to differentiate on this front?
Yes. Okay. So technology gets commoditized quite fast. That is true. But then the challenges have been increasing by leaps and bounds. I've been in the industry for about 25 years. So at whatever point in time we think कि आज मैंने बहुत बढ़िया innovative solution निकाला, in 4-5 years it becomes quite old. And not only old, there are a different set of problems which keep coming out. Now address those problems as well as पुराने technology को better करने में क्या करें, ठीक है? So it's a continuous cycle which we have to do and which we have to work on. The answer is yes and no. The basic technologies that you come out with become commodities. Okay, but commodities particularly are those areas where it is very simple and easy to use. For example, Zoom or WebEx, okay, or internet services or SSL certificate deployment, for example. No, these are very simple commodity software things to do, right? So you just buy and you start using it. But a bank may not have a process remaining constant for even 3 months time. Okay, so today, for example, the process which I showed you for a JLG organization, joint liability group loan, which was a micro loan. Now, this loan today stands, the process of giving this loan may stand at what it is today, but in 3 months time, they will change and make even better options available for them. If they don't do it, then somebody else will do it and then will undercut them and they'll gain the market share. So the people in the bank business side are particularly innovating continuously, and they are finding out different avenues to actually do more and more automation. Therefore, vendors like us always have to be on their toes, and they do not let the end-to-end solution get commoditized. In my case, for example, I've combined 5 different technologies, and I'm proud to tell you that there is only one company outside of India that claims of this thing, and that is none other than Pega Software. So those are the people who have got BPM as well as RPA. Until we did that, people used to think that ये दो different अलग दुनिया के animals हैं and they can't be brought in together. But we brought in, so we have kind of met that challenge in a way. We have not let our solution capability to get commoditized. Yes, products will get commoditized for sure.
Sarosh Nicholas.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Sarosh Nicholas from the class of 2016. Sir, Mr. Gaur, I found this particularly interesting because I kind of operate in a very similar space, similar but different. I work for a company that makes technology systems for financial crime management. So we're talking about AML and fraud management as well. Given your experience, I would love to connect with you also post this either on phone or email. But for now, I just wanted to know about, perhaps like the impact of COVID. I'm in sales, by the way. So the impact on COVID, maybe on, say, banking budgets for IT and decision making for, I am interested in that because purely I'm in sales. So what impact do you see in terms of delay, deferrals? Is there an impact firstly?
I am seeing that banks have become slow in deciding on the next steps because there is a whole chain of decision making. The people who make proposals inside ki ye karna hai, their bosses come in between and there's a full chain. So at least 3, 4, 5 layers of decision making is there. Now the junior most level has to actually go and make those proposals, and then senior most people have to approve or disapprove. And in some cases, senior most people also contribute, saying that we should do this, we should do that. Now, because this situation is fast changing, and I last 30, 40 days, if you see, my thought was that this is a temporary phenomenon and we'll overcome this after lockdown is over and things like that. And now suddenly very strongly started feeling that this is here to stay for long. So decision, of course, is going to change. For my company, I can tell you, the customers are orally saying that we will continue with this, but when it comes to giving me the POs, they are still not releasing, saying something or the other thing. But I'm sure that I will not see any downturn here because the technology is the only way through which the banks can overcome the problem. Similar thing happened to us during demonetization time. While the entire industry went through rough weather, my company did very well because we were kind of helping banks in order to, meet the new challenges which others were facing. So my company looks safe as of now to me, but keeping fingers crossed, anything can happen.
Pramurto, just one sec, Pramurto. Nilesh and Sarosh, time is less. So I have to give chance to everybody to ask at least one question. So Venu, Nilesh and Sarosh, you have Harish's number. If you want, you can get in touch with me. But now Pramurto, go ahead. One question, short and sweet. Thank you.
Hi Harish, nice to meet you again. Harish, sir, are you thinking that more and more banking organizations will now move to the cloud in response to these disruptions in the in-premise model?
Well, okay. So again, 2 parts to your answer. One is that, see, if the bank was having server in their premises, they will definitely move it to cloud. There is no doubt. Okay. Whether the bank will move into a payment model which is subscription based versus perpetual license based, that is where I have a doubt. A bank will never get into any subscription model. Bank will always want to purchase license and be owner of the license rather than be at the mercy of the vendor, where vendor can tomorrow change the way the software works. Everyone would have definitely used LinkedIn, and I get so much perturbed with LinkedIn on subscription model. Every time I try and set my mind for doing certain things, after 3 months, I see that feature is gone or additional feature has come. So because I'm just a lay person and an individual, and I pay very little money to LinkedIn, I can I can, forgive LinkedIn, but a bank is not going to forgive. So subscription model for bank is not going to get adopted any soon, for sure.
Pankaj Sudan.
Yeah. Hi, Harish. Pankaj here. Good to hear you. Now,
Namaste.
Hi. Partly related to might help Sarosh. If you were to look at a bank's balance sheet or any other criteria, what would give you the idea that in this post-COVID world, that is a prime customer for your solution?
You mean to say the bank or NBFC's balance sheet?
Yeah, what would tell you that the bank is spending or should be spending on this particular, for example, if there's a bank which does only loans, lots of loans, customer loans or consumer loans versus technology spend versus manpower spend as compared to total assets. Now, what are these criteria which you will see and find out that this bank is ripe for a COVID kind of a meltdown and therefore they need your product or any technology product?
Pankaj bhai, this is a very, very good question. And how I tackle it is as follows. So I tell my salespeople, भाई एक फिजियोथेरेपी यूनिट है और एक जिम है, दोनों जगह जाना पड़ता है, राइट? फिजियोथेरेपी में तब जाना पड़ता है when you are below normal line, और जिम में तब जाना पड़ता है when you are normal and you want to further build your body. दोनों अपना अपना धंधा करते हैं, राइट? लेकिन फिजियोथेरेपी वाली सिचुएशन ऐसा है कि आपको दर्द बढ़ता जाएगा and you have, there is not a choice for you after some point, after some threshold of pain. जिम के लिए आप भले ही चाहते हैं, but that is चाहत, but business may not come unless somebody is really very, very excited about it. Now, my solutions actually work in both the cases, below the normal and above the normal. Below the normal में अगर किसी बैलेंस शीट में ये दिखाई दे रहा है कि their top line is going, I mean profit and loss में अगर top line नीचे जा रहा है या उसकी cost बढ़ रही है, bottom line खराब हो रही है, या for that matter other things which are shown in the balance sheet like asset उसके कम हो रहे हैं या even liability side में उसका ज़्यादा deposits नहीं हो रहे हैं, which means that cost of fund is increasing. We have solutions for each of those. So as you would have noted, I said initially that we actually give wholesome solution. So on one hand, it is the productivity and efficiency of the organization, and the second side is the experience of the customer, which actually gets the company the advantage to gain more and more market. So what we do typically is that after we study the P&L and balance sheet, our salespeople then actually make a right proposition. तो अगर वो डाउन जा रहा था तो उसको जिम वाली सोल्यूशन फिजियोथेरेपी वाली सोल्यूशन देते हैं, और अप जा रहा था तो उसको और एक्साइट करके जिम वाली देते हैं. So that is how we actually work on it, and for us both are okay. I mean case to case it differs very much, and at the end of it it all depends on the leadership. अगर leadership ऐसी है तो उनको एक्साइट करने का तरीका पता चल जाए. और एक सीक्रेट और बताता हूँ मैं, just go and read the LinkedIn profile of those people and you will know what language they are using, what terminology they are using. तो वहां से पता चल जाता है उसका सोच विचार क्या है, फिर accordingly उस पे हम अटैक करते हैं. So that is how we
yeah, Harish, there's a question from Prabhat. He's saying, is Servosis using industry RPA product, or are you using in-house product based on some standard automation framework?
Okay, so see, we in Servosis, I actually have a great partner who is one of the best technologists that country has ever had. He and I were colleagues for many, many years. So we are like, we are the people who have product DNA. I mean, I was also R&D head, as you would have seen in my profile. I was the one who headed R&D for 7-8 years of one of the biggest software product companies in India. So we actually are people with product DNA. इसका मतलब है we keep building more and more products, new and new products, and we keep doing innovation to our products. We are also the people who believe that the segment that we are attempting right now is the one which does not believe in any open source, because open source में क्या होता है, support का problem आ जाता है. unless open source was like very basic, like as basic as Linux or something, उसमें भी लोग free version छोड़ के और paid version में जाते हैं. तो जो the segment that we are attempting, although my product portfolio is horizontal, which means that tomorrow I will be going into pharma, I'll be going into manufacturing, I'll be going into various different industries to sell my solutions because my product is horizontal. But currently I'm focusing on BFS because they are paymasters and my one ticket can be 1 crore, 2 crores very easily. Below that I don't even talk. तो उस industry में open source की इज्जत नहीं है भाई.
I think I should take some money from you because everybody is asking about your product. So it's high time you do some donation to association. There's one more question. Tomorrow I will send you the donation form. Question from Ravi. Do Servosys has solution on automated collection solution for microloans?
For microloans, okay, fine. Yeah, okay. So micro loans as such के लिए तो नहीं, but collection solution general होता है. So we have a solution which allows banks and NBFCs to do collection, and how it works is like it connects with the core system in morning time, and it fetches all the records which are belonging to his territory or area or as per the assignment, and it comes into his mobile, and he takes the mobile, goes into the field and keeps collecting, and then depending upon how the interaction goes, he keeps filling that thing into his mobile. And if he collects the money is actually put into the core system and it is posted into the core system, and certain acknowledgements are generated. And if the customer further rejects it or gives some bahana, then there are options to write it down. So we have that, as well as we actually have some we have a number of customers which are in a very different segment, by the way. That segment is called ARC. So ARC is a segment where the asset reconstruction companies, they are very similar to NBFCs, but not NBFC exactly. So what they do is that they collect the NPS or they buy the NPS from banks and NBFCs, okay, and that's called a trust. So they buy a number of NPS, number of people's loans, and then they buy it maybe or something, maybe 100 करोड़ का लोन 50 करोड़ में परचेस करके 75 करोड़ बनाने की कोशिश करते हैं, तो उसमें भी कलेक्शन होता है. So that collection is also part and parcel of our solution. So yes, we have the component of collection, but we don't sell it as a ready-made product. So we need to actually give a solution based on the requirement, because ARC ka solution is different from a bank, which is different from NFC, NBFC, and which is different from HFC, Housing Finance Company. All of those guys are having variation in the requirement.
So, Harish, there are the questions you have answered very well, and I would like to thank you on behalf of the association for having such a interesting and a very in-depth presentation. And thank you very much for the time taken. And
दुआ करो कि I start giving back funds to the IIM Alumni Association, as I used to do many years ago. And that time I was running a sales organization of a company, and I was very senior in that company. ये company अपनी है तो profitability देखनी पड़ती है. The good thing about my current venture is that it's a self-funded venture, and it's owned by partners, and we don't have another third party or a funding agency into it. तो इसलिए थोड़ा संभल के चलना पड़ता है. So
just I know what you have done earlier when you were working for Neogen. I was just kidding because your solutions have been very good.